Hey everyone, and welcome back to Red Dead Redemption 2. On this video, we're getting a gold medal on the mission, Eastward Bound.
Oh, for Lord's sake! Put that book away and go help! Oh, Mary Beth.
So, we getting out of this hellhole?
We're gonna try. Weather seems stable.
And we just robbed the Leviticus Cornwall train.
We got money in our pockets. The worst is behind us, gentlemen. So the question is, where now?
I know this country a little. I told you, we should set up camp in Horseshoe Overlook near Valentine. We'll be able to hide out there, no problem, as long as we keep our noses clean.
Well, then let's go. Clean noses and everything else. Arthur, you're in that one. Bring Hosea. I know you two like to talk about the good old days and what's gone wrong with old Dutch.
Up and go do your job.
Lenny! Micah, get over here!
Yes, boss.
You two ride up ahead, make sure there's no surprises. We've had enough of those.
Me with the boy?
Just go.
Come on, kid. You can buy me a whiskey.
Alright, so for our gold medal, we're gonna need to complete this mission in 6 minutes or less, so just go as fast as it'll let you.
Up the street. Gotta keep us moving, but calm.
Ah, shit.
Okay, let's take a look.
You all right back there?
Does everything look all right?
Well, what's going on?
Ah, I broke the goddamn wheel.
All right, let's get it fixed.
You need help?
I reckon we can handle it. All right, Charles, you and me hold the thing up while you try and put the wheel back on, Arthur.
You still strong enough to hold up a wagon?
Shut up.
I'm just saying.
Don't say less. Hit the wheel up. Nearly there. There.
See? You ain't so useless after all.
Not quite.
What do you think?
If they wanted trouble, we wouldn't have seen them.
Poor bastards. We really screwed them over down here. Come on, let's not push our luck.
What happened?
Well, get in. I'll tell you. Not too far now. Stay on this trail. We'll follow the river, then cut left inland.
Alright, you can change your radar by holding down on the D-pad. There's a compass, there's an expanded, and we're just gonna stick on the regular.
So, yes, the Indians in these parts got sold a very raw deal. This is the heartlands we're going to. Good farming and grazing country, they lost it all. Stolen clean away from them it was, every blade of grass. Killed or herded up to the reservations in the middle of nowhere.
And how's that different from anywhere else?
Well, maybe it's not. I just heard some of the army out here was particularly, unpleasant about it.
Unpleasant? How do you rob and kill people pleasantly? We don't, in spite of Dutch's talk.
I fear I was perhaps trying to simplify something more complicated for the benefit of our block-headed driver here.
Hey, don't blame it on me. Never forget, this here's a con man, Charles, born and bred. Just 'cause it sounds fancy don't mean he knows a damn thing about what he's talking about. Yeah. So, what happened to your tribe?
I don't even know if I have one. At least, not that I can remember. My father was a colored man. He told me he lived with our people for a while. A number of free men did, but when we were forced to move from our lands, the three of us fled. I was too young to really remember much. My whole life I've been on the run. A couple years later, some soldiers captured my mother. Took her somewhere. We never saw her again. We drifted around. He was a very sad man, and the drink had a mean hold on him. Around 13, I just took off on my own.
That was about the age we found young Arthur here. Maybe a little older. A wilder delinquent you never did see. But he learned fast.
Not as fast as Marston, apparently.
Wait, I don't understand. What's the problem between you two?
Arthur?
It's a long story. Yeah. We still heading the right way?
That depends. Are we still heading west in search of fortune and repose in virgin forests as we planned? No. Are we heading in the correct direction on our desperate escape from the law eastwards down the mountains? Yes, I believe so.
You know this area?
A little. I've been through a couple of times. There's a livestock town not too far from here called Valentine. Cowboys, outlaws, working girls, our kind of place.
Driscoll's?
Probably them too.
Pinkertons?
Let's hope not.
And this place we're going. Wait, what's it called again?
Horseshoe Overlook.
It's a good place to lie low?
It'll do for now. And how low do you think Dutch is really going to lie? It's just, you know, maybe it's me who's changed, not him, but we kept telling him that ferry job didn't feel right. You and me had a real lead in Blackwater that could have worked out.
Maybe.
It just isn't like Dutch to lose his head like that.
Things go wrong sometimes. People die. It's the way it is. Always has been. Me, you, Dutch. We've all been in this line of work a long time. And we're still here, so I figure we must have got it right a hell of a lot more than we got it wrong. What are you working on there, anyway?
Just some yarrow and ginseng. Good for the health. Better than that stuff you buy in the store. Yeah, you can have all this. I'm at the point where I can do it with my eyes closed.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah.
You acquired some herbs. These can be consumed to replenish your cores, used in cooking or to craft items. A variety of plants can be found throughout the world. Pick them to learn about their properties. The compendium tracks what you found, and we're gonna go check it out. Alright, so we got American ginseng. American ginseng shrubs can be identified by their large palmate leaves, smooth stems, and small cluster of red berries. The cluster of berries are smaller than the clusters found on Alaskan ginseng. These plants are native to forests and moist areas from West Elizabeth to the edges of New Hanover. This medicinal plant can be crafted into medicine or consumed to replenish your health core. And we also got some yarrow. Yarrow is easily recognized by the long, thin stems and red clusters of flowers. This plant can be found in grasslands and open forest areas in New Hanover and Lemoyne. Yarrow can be consumed That should be 2 replenish your health core or crafted into medicine.
Head in there. Follow the track for a bit.
Thanks.
Hey, slow up. I'll jump on.
All right, for your gold medal, you need to pick up Javier.
Okay, let's go.
Any trouble getting in here, Javier?
Nope. It went well. This is a good spot.
Excellent. I think this'll work for us, Arthur. For now, anyway. Here we are, gentlemen. Home sweet home.
You weren't wrong, Hosea. This place is perfect.
I hope so.
Gentlemen, we have survived.
For now.
Now, it is time to prosper.
Arthur and I were about to prosper in Blackwater. We were onto something big. Then Micah got you all excited about that ferry, and here we are.
We have all made mistakes over the years, Hosea. Every last one of us. But I kept us together. Kept us alive. Kept the nooses off our neck.
I guess I'm just worried. I ain't got that long, Dutch. I want folks safe before I go.
Me too.
And now we are stuck, east of the Grizzlies and out of money, and a long way from our dream of virgin land in the west.
I know, my brother. But we are safe. We make a bit of money here. Then we move again. Head out around them. Be west of Uncle Sam. In a few months, buy some land.
I hope so.
Would you just look around you? This world has its consolations.
Gentlemen, I'm going to head into the local town and, see if I can strike up a little business.
Of course, Herr Strauss. I prefer robbing banks to usury. Seems more dignified somehow. Now, everyone, put your tools down for a moment. Come on, gather round. Quickly now. I know that things have been tough, but we are safe now, and we are far too poor. So it is time for everyone to get to work.
Get to work, but stay out of trouble. Remember, we are itinerant workers.
Laid off when they shut down our factory to the north. Now get out there and see what you can find. Uncle, Reverend Swanson, no more passengers. It is time for everyone to earn their keep.
There is a town a little way down the track named Valentine. Livestock town, all mud and morons, if I remember right. That seems a decent place to start.
And, we need food. Real food. That means every day. One of you.
And remember, whatever it is that you find, the camp gets its slice. Now be sensible out there.
Now, the girls have your tent ready, Mr. Morgan. Come with me. You two will be ready shortly. We put you over here.
I'm sure everything will be fine, Miss Grimshaw.
It should be. Most of your stuff from Blackwater got saved.
Everything apart from my money.
Oh, don't remind me.
Well, we can always make more money.
We're gonna have to. Miss Jackson, I've seen shit with more common sense than you. Do it properly.
Got off the mountain, rode east into some pretty enough country called the Heartlands. Ain't been this far east in many a year. Dutch seems a little better. His eyes are sparkling once more, and I can see he's thinking a little clearer. I think we all feel a little happier, despite of Blackwater and that whole mess.
Arthur?
Jose?
Quite a day.
Let's hope so.
There's a bunch of the boys already in Valentine. Bill, Charles, and Javier. And Swanson found something down at the train station by the lake, apparently. And Strauss came back with that creepy little smile on his face. I'm sure there's a whole list of unfortunates he's forced money upon.
Thank you. And you?
I'm gonna read a book. Hi, Dutch.
Your beard is getting long. You can use the shaving kit beside your tent or visit a barbershop to maintain your facial hair.
Oh, Arthur, my boy. My dear boy.
What's going on?
Nothing. Nothing at all. For the first time in weeks. Nothing. We're free. We're free to plan our own futures once more.
I hope so, Dutch.
You kept the faith, Arthur. You always kept it.
And I ain't losing it now.
Alright, so a bunch of stuff happened there, but most importantly... Oh. Not sure why that popped up. Anyways, let's go to progress. And confirm that we did indeed get our gold medal, which we did. Eastward bound, with renewed strength and the weather finally stable, the gang ride down from the mountains to set up camp at Horseshoe Overlook. And we did our 2 objectives, pick up Javier when entering Horseshoe Overlook, and we completed the mission within 6 minutes, which was really just driving the horse as fast as it would go. Oh, and there was other stuff in the compendium as well, so let's look at that. We have new equipment. We now have a camera, allows you to take pictures of your surroundings. Let's see, was it weapons? Where does it keep the trinkets? I don't think it's in weapons. Oh, but we never did see this, dynamite. A powerful explosive designed for mining and construction purposes. It can be used to clear out groups of enemies or effectively blow up a variety of things, including mines, trains, and safes. Light and throw towards your target, or place it down before igniting and running to a safe distance. It cannot be purchased from gunsmith stores, but some less than reputable sellers may stock this item. Alright, where is the trinket hiding? It might be in equipment, actually. Ah, it is in equipment. Alright, so we got the Eagle Talon Talisman. Permanently increases the time the Eagle Eye can stay active by 5 seconds. And we also got the Iguana Scale Trinket. Permanently decreases the damage the player receives while on horseback by 10%. Now let's see. Each day, Pearson will make stew, which you can eat from the pot at the knife and fork icon. All right. Who's talking?
Morning.
Ah, well, she was yelling at him for killing her husband. Bring Pearson animals to supply the camp. He can use the meat for food. Alright, well, our journal has been updated. No, not that. Alright, let's see if we can find the page where I left off. Maybe this is it, actually. Yeah, this was where I left off. Ridge. Leviticus Cornwall. Seems Colmel Driscoll had the same ideas as us. He's been hiding up here, scouting out a train he wanted to rob. We bumped into some of his boys at some farmstead they was robbing. Found that poor woman whose husband they had murdered, and she's now riding with us as she ain't got no place better to be. Then, Dutch being Dutch and his hatred for Colm being just as powerful as ever it was, whole bunch of us went to pay him a visit in his camp, but he escaped. We grabbed one of his boys. Poor bastard ain't spoken yet, but he will once we freeze him a little. Then set Bill on him. Been a bad few weeks, but we're mostly still alive. Dutch being Dutch is busy making plans and figuring out just how we're going to survive. And Dutch being Dutch, those plans involve robbery and dreams. Horseshoe Overlook. Finally, a thaw in this god-awful weather. We got off the mountain and rode east into some pretty enough country called the Heartlands. Ain't been this far east in many a year. Hosea seems to know the country a little. Ain't been much of a spring. Now holed up at a place called Horseshoe Overlook, outside of some dumpy little cattle town, name of Valentine. That seems a little better. His eyes are sparkling once more, and I can see he's thinking a little clearer. I think we all feel a little happier, in spite of Blackwater and that whole mess. Alrighty.
How are you today, Arthur?
Alright, so we can shave, which we should. At least I think we should. So we can go for a trim. We can trim all our facial hair, or we can just go with the mustache, chin, and chops. So let's see. That's a little longer than I'd like. Let's press left on the D-pad. Get a closer shave. One more is a little too much for me. So let's go with a length of 3. I like that. Let's see how it looks outside of that preview thing. Ah, yeah. That's what we want. Alright, what else do we have around here? Well, let's change our clothing. Alright, so there's 17 categories for your wardrobe. Let's check them out. So we have outfits. We have the gunslinger. Some people are talking, but they're not having a conversation, so I won't listen in. Alright, so anyways, we have the gunslinger. We have the summer gunslinger. The winter gunslinger. The Nuevo Pereso, I think. The Grizzlies Outlaw. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so you can see with each of these outfits at the bottom. You can see with each of these outfits, actually, I'm gonna go eavesdrop.
Arthur never said he'd been robbed. No, not Arthur.
Also, a couple of morons threatened to lynch me. So, I ran away, came back, robbed them.
Good lad.
How about you?
A few bits and pieces. Nothing that exciting. Not yet, at least.
You were right about this place. It's a good spot.
You'll do for now.
For sure. Did you and Micah see anything when you rode ahead?
Nothing we need to worry about.
Okay, good.
Alright, back to changing our look. Alright, and you'll notice I'm selecting each of these to make the star go away, because then I'll know when I get new things. So anyways, each outfit you'll see at the bottom is more appropriate for different weather. So you need to dress appropriate for the weather that you're in, otherwise you will damage your health core, I believe it is. So anyways, the Brawler's outfit, the Ruffian, the Rebel, the Innocent, and the Pursuer. I'm probably gonna change the individual items. I might just go with the gunslinger for now. Alright, moving on, we got hats. Arthur's gambling hat. Oh, right, I have to actually select it. What does it say? This will always stay on your horse. I see. We have the stalker hat. Oh, I see. When I selected that, I was telling it to go on my horse. Okay, that's fine. I don't really care. Wait, did I take that off? Okay, there we go. Alright, and then we have the plantation hat. The worn gambler's hat. And the beaver Big Valley hat. Alright, and then let's see. Hats on the horse are Arthur's hat and Beaver Big Valley hat. So of these, I like Arthur's gambling hat the most. Or gambler's hat. So I'm gonna go with that. Put that on the horse. Okay. Another conversation. I'll go eavesdrop. No, never mind. That conversation's over. There's too many things going on. Alright, moving on to coats. We have the duster cloak. The hunting jacket with two different looks to it, red and black. The wool frock coat. The winter shotgun coat. Montana coat. The gunslinger jacket. The buckskin hunting jacket. Alright, of these, I like the duster cloak. I actually really like the Montana cloak, but that's for cold weather. So we're going to go with the duster one. Alright, moving on to vests. We have the buckskin king vest. Ebony outdoorsman's vest. The Wrangler vest, the buckskin vest, and the Legion vest. I like the Legion vest. Alright, shirts. We have the everyday shirt with either blue or this plaid one. Well, more striped. Let's see. Then we have the everyday shirt. The French dress shirt. Comes in black or white. The Union shirt comes in kind of a whitish and brownish. Alright, of those, I like the everyday shirt with the stripes. The plaid one. Alright, yeah, that'll work. Let's see, what else? Pants. We have jeans. 3 different looks for those. The work pants. 3 for those. The cuff town pants. And the ranch pants. Alright, of those, I like the jeans. We're going to go with the tan ones. Alright, suspenders. We have the cotton suspenders. Sure, that's fine. Then we have chaps. Fringed shotgun chaps. I don't really want chaps. So, no chaps. Alright, next we have boots. Of the worn roper boots. 3 styles for that. Workman's boots. 2 styles for those. The deluxe relentless boots. If you want a little fancier pair. The Rambler boots and the plated Rambler boots. Of these, I kind of like the worn roper boots in that style. Let's go with those. Oops. I didn't mean to leave. Let's go back in. Alright. Next we have spurs. We have the Gurdon spurs. Or the Western snake spurs. I like the Gurdon ones. Could also go with no spurs, but I want spurs. Alright. What is that? Masks. Cloth mask. I don't want a mask. Oh, it took off my hat for some reason. Take off my hat. How dare you? Okay, there we go. Alright, next up we have bandanas. So do we want bandana or no bandana? I'm thinking no bandana. Yeah, no bandana. Neckwear, grand neckerchief, or neckerchief. I like neither. Let's go no. Gloves. We have the range gloves. Either brownish or blackish. Let's go with brown. Weapon equipment. We have gun belts. We have Arthur's pistol belt currently, or could go with the Nuevo Preso gun belt. I kind of like this one. I don't know. I don't like the gold buckle. So yeah, let's go with that. Well, now that I see it with the whole thing, maybe I'll want this one instead. Yeah, actually, I like the gold better with the rest of it. Alright, primary holsters. We have Arthur's holster and Nuevo Preso holster. I might be saying that wrong over and over again. I apologize if I am. I like Arthur's holster. And then we have bandolier. Bandolier or no bandolier? I'm going no bandolier. Alright, satchels. Only option here is Arthur's satchel. And then we have talismans. The Eagle Talon talisman. So it will permanently increase the time the Eagle Eye can stay active by 5 seconds, but it is so ugly. So I'm going to sacrifice stats for style. I don't want it. And I have no idea why the other talisman isn't available, but either way, not too worried about it. Alright, I like this look. I think it looks good. So this is what we're going to be going with. Alright, what else we got here? We have a photograph. Beatrice Morgan, Spring Rocks, 1870. Mother, maybe? Alright, and then we have a flower. Interesting. No idea who this is. It does not say on the back. Let's see, we have first bank robbery newspaper clip, or scrap rather. First bank robbery newspaper scrap. April 15th, 1887. Brazen bank robbery. 3 men sought. Major T.J. Belford has been a cashier at the banking house of Lee and Hoyt for a number of years, but nothing prepared him for what transpired last week. It was about 2 o'clock. 3 men, strangers to me, came through the door and walked up to the counter. One of them, the eldest of the 3, was a fine talker and engaged me in conversation. Suddenly, the largest, a big, sullen young man, brandished a firearm and held it up to my face. "Throw up your hands," the third one said, who appeared to be the boss. The other 2 repeated the order with an oath, and the leader said, "My fine, patriotic friends and I are going to relieve you of that gold and introduce a few folks to the benefits of civilization." They came around the counter and grabbed some sacks which contained $5,000 in gold. They demanded to know where the rest of the money was, and I pointed out 3 sacks containing silver, but it was too bulky for them. They retreated, and one warned against sounding an alarm. "I was never so terrified in my life," Mr. Belford told the reporter. The robbers are reported to have lingered in town, and there are unproven claims that the men traveled to hovels and shanties, and even a home for orphans, and gave handfuls of the ill-gotten gains to the poor. And what do we have here? Not the photograph. Oh, I had it for a second. Zoological compendium. A zoological compendium of Earth's creatures. J.D. Goddard. And moose are difficult to run down in such instances, furnishing poor sport. Look not only down, but up when tracking moose, for they break twigs, bend branches, and tear the ground up quite significantly. The badger. Many a man who nearly broke his neck or leg has cursed this animal, for in its pursuit of prey, it takes to digging holes. These quickly are covered by leaves or weeds, and along comes a rider into a death trap. I have been thrown from my horse on several occasions as it stepped into a badger hole. I got up, covered in dust, cursed to the heavens, then took to killing everyone I could find within miles, wiping out an entire species, of which I feel only lingering regret. At times, nature should be left to its own devices, up until the point where it inconveniences me, and then it should be eradicated. When approaching its hole, this idiotic creature will pop its head out, to see what is coming. Place the shot between the eyes. Take the fur and throw the rest in the stew pot. The skunk. Those who raise game birds or chickens are likely to hunt the skunk for marauding... Those who raise game birds or chickens are likely to hate the skunk for marauding about hen houses. But farmer and forester alike should leave these beasts alone. Many take to shooting skunks for sport. However, they eat quite a large amount of insect larvae, which helps crops and prevents infestation of moths and caterpillars. When you upset the balance of nature, man must pay from his pocketbook for artificial substances to rid of infestations, when you could have left well enough alone. A note on animals, water, and debilitation. Serious sickness often takes a household when fouled water is drunk. This can debilitate a man from hunting or farming, and instead he is resigned to the outhouse while his spouse looks on in mournful derision and pity, as he neither pleases her in the bedroom nor provides ingredients for bread for the supper table. Creatures are thirsty too and will fall into your well, spreading disease before it is discovered. Obtain a cask and layer small pebbles, charcoal, and the layer of sand inside. Attach a faucet at the bottom in order to draw off the water. This will provide perfect drinking water, even if it tastes slightly like a dead raccoon. Alright, and we're going to take this. And that will be added to my journal. Or not to my journal, to my satchel. Over in documents. Alright, what do we have here? We have Arthur's horseshoe. There's Arthur's father. Arthur's dog. Hosea, Dutch, and Arthur. And that's it. Alrighty, well, that's Arthur's part of this camp. What's Dutch up to?
Arthur, how's a cigar? Not bad, but sometimes I prefer a pipe. I've been meaning to get one for ages. I left the old one in Blackwater, I know. Well, if I find one, you can have it. Well, you are a gentleman, Mr. Morgan. I raised you well. Don't take too much pride in your work.
Companions will sometimes ask for help retrieving an item. Find and return it to them in camp for a reward. Camp item request. Dutch has asked for a pipe. Alright. I think you get to the log by pressing, yes, left on the D-pad. So, there's the camp item request. Challenges and notifications. Okay. And let's see if he has anything else to say.
Okay, well, let's talk more later.
Okay, Arthur.
Apparently not. Molly's poem. Oi preach. I don't know what that says. Why breach? Something like that. I was a girl until your call commanded me to cross the sea. I've nothing left, I gave you all. My darling Liffey was so small. Your land and love are vast and free. I was a girl until your call. You stood so strong and dark and tall. You stole the heartbeat out of me. I've nothing left, I gave you all. Your lips enchant, your eyes enthrall. Your empire is of ecstasy. I was a girl until your call. Your parasites and lackeys crawl, mocking a love they dare not see. I've nothing left, I gave you all. I sit in solitude and scrawl these wretched words and wait for thee. I was a girl until your call. I've nothing left, I gave you all. An American Eden by Evelyn Miller. They say that only the fool quotes himself, and I confess that along with ample reserves of stupidity, I have also been cursed with an excess of vanity. So the reader will forgive me if I quote myself. The real America can only be found not in desires, but in the purity of its landscape. This remark is commonplace enough, but in my commonplace mind, it resonated since I wrote it in a second-rate book a few years ago. What did I mean by it? When I wrote it, I did not mean very much by it. I merely liked the turn of phrase. But since then, this idea has captured my mind. America is a land that is captivated by its own appetites. Of that, there can be no doubt. We are taught to cherish only the temporary feelings of satiety. Satiety? I know that word, but I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. That repeated binging upon our appetites can ensure. Yet this is not liberty. We are not free merely to choose a poison. We are free to think, to feel, and to be. We are free to live in this landscape, in this Eden, if we choose it so to be and live free from these unceasing desires. The very things that have plagued European man since the Enlightenment. The great sea of desires that leads to all of mankind's assorted folly. Here in this landscape so perfectly cherished by our native cousins, we, they, and all those who value it, are free to worship at God's truest altar, the altar of the actual America. The soil, rock, and trees that make this vast and perfect place so perfect, yet we bespoil it with European delusions. The delusions that we can compete with God, that our built environment can transcend His, that our factories and the squalid conditions that arise in the towns in which they are built will somehow allow us to be happy. We are not fools, for fools cannot see their idiocy. We are somehow worse than fools, for we will ourselves to do things of such profound stupidity, despite knowing that we will hate what we have built. Who likes a factory? Which man's soul was ever lifted by a tenement building? Who enjoys seeing working men reduced to wretches, and their wives and children treated not as cherished members of a family, but as an awful burden? We need better, and yet better is all around. Better is America. By attempting to transform it into a poor impersonation of Europe, we are, as Adam, eating once more of the apple, only this time knowing full well of the consequences. To free the American soil, this new world soul, we must free the American spirit from the prison in which we have placed it. We must return it to the American landscape. We must seek our solace, our comfort, our very heaven in the perfection and splendor of this place. Existence and Oblivion by Nikolai Fedorov. Translated from the Russian by Hubert Pallet. Chapter 47. You're wrong, brother. Very wrong, opined the priest, sickly and pale though he now undeniably was. His brother Andrei Denisovich stared at him, pride and shame intermingled in his face. Pride that he was what he had set out to be, above all, that he was the man the world saw him to be, and shame that his brother saw through him so effortlessly and with such devastating consequences for them both. All of these constructed illusions, and yet underneath he was just a little boy, naked before the God he no longer quite believed in, nor could quite abandon. I want to hate you, Sergei Denisovich, brother. I want it very badly, and yet I envy you more than any man alive, he admitted. Then he turned away. I don't understand. I am sick beyond repair. I am humiliated beyond repair. What have I to envy? I am, as you yourself said, a disgrace to our family and to the motherland, said the priest. Yet, you have faith. You still have faith, said his brother, Andrei. I am a man set adrift. I am not even a man. I may be a gentleman, but I am no man. I am a wonderful animal. An animal in a frock coat. I have killed well, hunted well, fought well, loved women well. And yet I am not a man. Not like you. I am an animal. I live like an animal. I have the dignity, even the innocence of an animal. But I am still an animal. The lamp flickered, then it went out. They sat for a long time in the dark, silent, disconsolate, and suddenly... Wait, they sat... That was a weird sentence. They sat for a long time in the dark, silent, disconsolate, and suddenly overjoyed. The priest wheezed a little. More remained unspoken between them, and yet there was nothing more that needed to be said. Life, at the very last, made sense to him. His cavalry would be alone and would be lonely and thankless. He had long known that, and long accepted his fate. And yet, like others who are truly fortunate, he saw that for all his disgrace and his fall, all the trouble he had caused, his life was a thing of great joy. For his life, in this moment, had all that had eluded him through the years of his disgrace. His life had acquired grace, and the light had entered into it. You know, brother, I remember when we were boys. It was you, not me, who was intended for the church, he croaked. I turned my back on that nonsense a long time ago, said his brother sadly. And yet, I found only other nonsense. For you, there is still time, said his brother. For me, there is no more time, and nor do I need it. I long for all that you have. I went to Paris. I went to England. I went to Copenhagen. I found nothing but idle pleasures, pleasures that showed me that the Russian way is not the European way, that we can only find our salvation in trees and forests, and yet here I am, in St. Petersburg, enjoying the life of an idle fool. And trapped, brother, trapped. We are never trapped, said Sergei. If you learn anything from me, learn that. The spring had been a lonely one for Andrei Denisovic, a terrifying look into the void that would envelop him unless he acted. They looked at each other calmly, both at peace with what was now inevitable. The church bells chimed in the distance. The peasants walked home in the evening twilight. The world was both old and very, very new. Andrei Denisovic knew that he must kill his brother, and Sergei, his brother, his beloved partner, the man he loved and hated more than any other, knew that he must die. He was not afraid, for this would save his brother's family, and ultimately, the estate and all of its souls. The eternal life, the truer, better life awaited him, and he was happy to die. Do it, brother, he implored, his sickly yellowish eyes bright and tear-stained. His brother would not look at him. His brother, who had taught the French and the British, who had won duels, was close to tears. Do what, he stammered. Do what must be done. Do what will make you a man, make you whole, save the world. I am not afraid. You must do it. I fear nothing aside from your cowardice. Let me know that my brother is a man, not a coward, the sickly priest said, half in jest, yet both knew he was serious. Alright, what else do we have around here? Well, we have the contribution box, or whatever you want to call this. We can throw some stuff in. I haven't quite found out the extent of what all this does, but I can give them my excess stuff. So, like, I have 3 silver clamp buckles. We can give them 2. Alright. We'll keep a hold of the rest of the stuff. And that was a $2 donation, and things happened. And you can see one of those icons went white. So, happiness, I guess. Alright, we'll wait to contribute more until I know the full extent of what that does. Alright, I can't remember if there's anything on this. No, just some cooking stuff. This is Charles' photograph. And there's some tea over here. I'm not sure if I need any, but let's take it anyway. Oh, not tea, coffee. Well, I'm missing Deadeye, but I don't think coffee gives it back. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Put it away. Oh, you wasted it.
Hey, Arthur.
How you feel?
Stronger for sure.
But not strong enough to work. Well, don't let me bother you.
Okay.
Alright, anybody hanging out over here? Usually there's someone around here. Oops, I broke something. Nobody heard that. It's Micah, but apparently he doesn't want to talk. Alrighty.
Hi, Arthur.
All right, Mary Beth?
I'm bored out of my mind. Been cooped up for days.
Well, bored is better than freezing. Okay, I'll catch you later then.
Okay, then.
Let's see. I don't think there's anything here, but there is something on that barrel. Swanson's Bible. Yeah, Bible, huh?
How are you doing?
How you think I'm doing?
I'm sorry. Just let me know if there's anything I can do. Well, I should get back to it.
Okay, Arthur.
Oh, I could chop some firewood. Haven't actually done this before. What if it actually is useful? Most of the things are. Am I helping?
Jack, Mr. Morgan.
Why, thank you. I love how the characters react to what you're doing. Alright, well, we chopped some wood. It said I canceled the chore. Wonder what would have happened if I finished. You know what? Let's just go ahead and finish and see what happens. There's, what, 6 logs? There's 7? There's 7. No, there's 6. My original count was right. Making you guys some firewood. Alright, what were we down the last 2? That's so crazy. The way the wood split, it's so realistic. Honor and character attributes can be increased by partaking in daily chores around the camp. These efforts will be recognized by the gang. Sweet! I did a good thing.
You okay?
Arthur?
Putting the world to rights there?
Trying to, Mr. Morgan.
Well, don't let me disturb you.
Sounds good, Mr. Morgan.
Nothing in here. Usually there's people hanging out around this area. Not seeing anybody other than Sadie over there. Yeah, nobody.
Hello, Mr. Morgan.
Alright, here is where we can donate food and other thingies.
Could really use some good meat for this stew.
Alright, also I'm not exactly sure how much I need to donate, so let's just give them a little mature venison meat.
There should be some real good eating.
And we'll give them some animal fat. Give them 2 of those. Oh, I'm almost carrying max capacity anyway.
Fine, but make sure you get a good price for it.
Alright, that's good enough.
Many thanks, Mr. Morgan.
Alright, and then we have crafting upgrades.
Arthur, don't forget, I'm more than happy to craft you something if you bring me the right materials.
Alright, so for instance, if we wanted to get a new satchel, we need to bring him stuff. For this particular one, it increases the carrying capacity for all types of tonics from shop-bought to crafted versions.
One of a kind, Mr. Morgan.
But we would need to purchase leather working tools and upgrade the medicine wagon twice. But let's go through each one just so we can see what's coming up in the future. And then we can also upgrade lodgings. As far as I know, this is just decorative. So you can see all the different decorations we can get. And the requirements for each below. I don't know why we would upgrade John's lodging. We don't even like him. But we could be nice, I guess. Camp tables. Various skulls around the camp. I really like skulls. And finally, the scout campfire. Alright, so we'll be working on that over time.
Arthur.
Glad to be off that mountain, Mr. Pearson?
Yes, indeed. Lots to do now.
Yeah, for all of us. Anyway, I won't disturb you.
Sure, Arthur.
You're Arthur, right?
My name ain't no concern of yours.
I'm hungry.
I don't give a damn.
Look, you seem like a decent feller behind it all.
Then you ain't a good judge of character.
Yeah, well, we'll leave it there then.
There they are. Wondering where you girls were hiding.
What do you think of this place, Susan?
An improvement on the last, that's for sure.
Well, that ain't too hard. Well, I suppose I should be getting on.
Sounds good, Mr. Morgan.
Look at that freaking view. Amazing campsite.
What's wrong? Thought you'd be happy to be off that mountain.
Oh, I don't know.
You ain't been yourself for a while. All right, well, I should be getting on.
I need to be alone.
Alright, I saw Jack back here. There he is.
Oh, bastards. Tying me up right by the food. When are you gonna stop with this?
So you like the new camp, Jack?
Sure. It's fine.
It'll do us for now. Okay, speak later.
Uh-huh.
Hi there, Arthur.
You okay, Abigail?
Settling in?
Good.
Well, we could eat some stew.
Can anybody spare me a bite?
Not coffee, I want stew. When you grab a bowl of stew, you'll need to wait a few days before being able to grab another. Ah, well, maybe I shouldn't have. Oh well. Alright, it looks like my health got fortified. Not sure how long that'll last, but hopefully I'll get some use out of it. U.S. Army Discharge Certificate. This is to certify that Marion Williamson is hereby dishonorably discharged from the military service of the United States by reason of attempted murder and deviancy. Dated this 27th day of December 1892. Officer in charge, Colonel Harold T. Irving, 15th Infantry. That's Bill's dishonorable discharge. Letter to Lenny from Father. January 12th, 1894. My dear Leonard, it is only 3 days since you and your mother stood on the platform so dutifully until my train was out of sight, and already I feel compelled to write. How handsome you looked then.
One thing, but would you at least try to make an effort with the boy?
If it'll shut you up, I'll try. But fathering ain't nothing I know about.
Here's a hint. Act like you ain't a selfish, bloodthirsty moron.
You mean lie?
Shut up.
Marston?
Uh-huh.
Abigail?
What?
Alright, she's angry.
Hi.
Alright, anyways, back to that letter.
Hi there.
Let's just start from the beginning. So, my dear Leonard, it is only 3 days since you and your mother stood on the platform so dutifully until my train was out of sight, and already I feel compelled to write. How handsome you looked then. You must learn chastity young, and learn it well. There are truths a man of my upbringing finds it easier to set down than to speak, even to his son. I expect this is not easy for a boy to understand. In some ways, I hope you do not understand it. Here is one such truth. I know that I have sometimes been more tutor than father to you, but do not let my sermons on your future as a lawyer persuade you that I see you more as a pupil than son. When we meet again on Sunday next, I expect I will have stiffened once more, but this brief distance gives me liberty to tell you that you have redeemed more than you know, or can ever know, and should ever be expected to bear. I expect the yard to be clear of snow when I return. I see that it bores you, but you must learn to accommodate yourself to all useful labor, however menial. And as always, read this letter aloud to your mother, and where I have written is not, do not say ain't. I am as ever, your loving father. What is this? Hosea and Bessie photograph.
So?
Hosea and Bessie Matthews, September 1883.
I think we're fine.
Fine.
Well, given the circumstances,
I heard things got nasty on that ferry.
you could say so.
And that won't lead to more repercussions?
Eventually, yeah, but like I said, we will keep moving.
What do you think, Arthur?
I don't know. We're here now. We make the best of it and move on.
Exactly.
Well, heading east, Dutch, there's not so many places to hide this way.
We will think of something. We always do. You always do. I need you strong now, my brother.
I'm trying.
What's done is done. We gotta try to move on.
I know, but we're barely one step ahead of those hunting us.
One step's better than none. So, what happened with the girl on that boat, the one in all the papers?
We did what we had to do to get out of there. End of discussion.
Okay. Well, don't let me bother you.
Okay.
Alright, what else do we have around here? It's Mary Beth. I know there's a conversation I can have with her over here somewhere. I don't know if it can happen in other places. Let's actually follow her and find out. Now, never mind, she's going way out there. Perhaps another time. There's Micah again. I wonder if he's up for talking. That would be a no. Who else is that? Oh, that's Hosea. The Castle Above the Moor. A Romance of Old England by Mrs. Hescott Childers. Page 354. Forevermore be doomed to a life of unimaginable suffering, Eleanor swooned. Yet surely the Duke was dead. She had seen him thrown off the galleon with her own two beautiful gray eyes. Could this dashing and handsome vagabond with a scar across his cheek really be him? It seemed impossible, yet in her heart she knew it was true. As true as their love that bound them together like swans that had been tied together. And yet now, instead of embracing her true love or walking with him across the windswept moors, she had sent him off to a certain death, all because of the dastardly trick played by his own evil cousin. This sudden flash of truth gave Lady Eleanor back her truest possession, her own strength as a lady. Slowly, she raised herself from the rich burgundy velvet-covered chaise longue. Chaise longue? I have no idea what that is. And cleared her perfectly shaped throat, while the wind blew her beautiful magenta gown and her even more beautiful flowing hair, appropriately. Sir Mulberry, a word with you before you go, she gasped, bravely but breathlessly. Sir Mulberry turned slowly. He stared blankly at the woman, the lady, the true lady he thought, incorrectly. He was about to forever trick deceitfully into becoming his wife, and knew instantly, by the look of honesty, simplicity and truth in her beautiful gray eyes, that all of his lies and deceits had not worked, as they never could when faced by such a lady. Yes, my lady, he sputtered, nervously. That man we just sent to the deepest dungeon in all Britain's great empire was not a Barbary pirate at all, was he? She commanded, imperiously. She felt the strength of truth and goodness raise her up tall and proud like the prow of a great battleship, just as her enemy seemed to shrivel wretchedly like a sniveling big-nosed moneylender in front of her. I don't understand, he ejaculated furtively. Great choice of word. I have never been so insulted in all my life, he added, idiotically. No, sir, that man we sent to almost certain death was not the Moorish scourge of Cornwall at all. That man was your own true cousin, the Duke of Hepworth, who you claimed was dead. The Duke, he spat, desperately, realizing that all his lies and tricks had come to naught when faced with the righteousness of Lady Eleanor. You're correct. The Duke is not dead. I lied because I was a fool and believed the words of foreigners. Guards, arrest this man. He's a traitor to the king and a liar and a man of no honor. Yet Sir Mulberry, despite being a traitor and a liar, had just enough honor and English pluck left to see his own vile shame for what it was, unbecoming to an English gentleman. Before he could be arrested disgracefully, with one last look at the beautiful Lady Eleanor, the lady who he had tricked but who had now defeated him, he threw himself from the castle window, to be dashed, forlornly, on the jagged rocks and tempestuous waves crashed tempestuously below. Lady Eleanor sighed sadly. It's very sad. He was once a good and brave man, but then greed and lies overtook him, she lamented, lamentably. It's like my father always said, when an Englishman realizes he has acted with all the lack and pluck and honesty one expects of a foreigner, then dashing yourself upon rocks and tempestuous waves is the only course of action, said her trusty and loyal maidservant Bess, comfortingly. We must hurry, for the ship is carrying the real Duke to his certain death, said Lady Eleanor suddenly and unrelatedly, and ran breathlessly through the castle and down the highest spiral staircase in all England. After having crossed the drawbridge, she leapt urgently upon her white charger Bessie. Bessie whinnied bravely and then raced bravely across the windswept moors furiously. She hoped earnestly that she could save the life of the one man that she had loved and who loved her too. She would not be too late, she told herself and Bessie, pointlessly. Bessie whinnied again, still very bravely. Ugh. The writing was so purposely bad on that. So much double speak. Alright, I think that's it here. Alright. The camp has pretty much been explored at this point. That last book, like, just destroyed my brain. I'm thinking of a word, and it's not coming to me. Because all of the words they used hurt my brain. And how they used it repeatedly. Alright. Yes, I believe we have seen everything.
Can I ask you a favor, if it's convenient, I mean?
Sure.
If you're out on your adventures and you see any herbs for seasoning, would you mind grabbing them for me?
Seasoning?
Yes. Don't tell Mr. Pearson.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Ah, there we go. I was gonna say, that was clearly an item request, but it didn't pop up. I have not seen this one before. Susan has asked for some herbs for seasoning. And the word I was looking for, which finally came to me, is redundant. That last story was redundantly redundant.
Hey.
Let me check one last thing before I give up on it. And that is over here. I think it's Mary Beth that needs to be sitting there. Oh, wait. Oh, is that Tilly? I haven't talked to Tilly. Hi, Tilly.
Was a hard day today.
Hi, Tilly. You seem a bit happier.
A bit, yeah.
I'm glad.
All right.
Yeah, who was that back there? Oh, Karen. Haven't talked to her. And apparently I won't talk to her. Alrighty. Alrighty. So with that, we are all done here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.